Way back. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to social media marketing for small business. You know, you know what I like about presentations like this? It's that every single person in here has built a business with your own hands, right? Your own savings, your own belief that it was going to work, and it did, right? And now you're here. You're here with me because you know that building something great is only half the battle. The other half, well, that's getting the world to notice you, right? And that's what we're going to do today. Social media marketing, not the overwhelming, confusing stuff, not the I have no idea where to start version, the version that actually works for someone running a real business with real customers and maybe, just maybe, no marketing team at all. And who am I? I'm Steve Barry. I'm a creative consultant. And for the next hour or so, we're going to build something together. I want to tell you about who I am, but not to impress you, but so you understand why I care about this stuff so much, right? I am an automation engineer. I am a creative consultant. I do help businesses use AI and systems in general to do more with less. But forget all that. I was also a small business owner trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to figure out right now. I remember sitting in front of a blank Instagram post thinking, what am I going to say? Who even cares? And if you've ever felt that feeling, that paralysis, that blank screen moment, I want you to know that you're in the exact right place right now. Because by the end of today, that blank screen is never going to feel that intimidating again. I've spent a lot of time building content systems that work even when you're the only person in the building. That's what I want to bring to you today, right? So I always like to ask a question, you know, I want you to be honest too, even if it's just with yourself. How many of you have looked at your phone? You've opened IG, Facebook, TikTok, and thought, I know I should post something, but I have no idea what. Yeah, that's the most common feeling with most of the businesses that I interact with. And it's not because you don't have something to say. You have a lot to say, actually. It's because nobody ever gave you a system. The questions that keep business owners up at night are right there on the screen. What should I post? That one is the big one. That's the one that haunts most of us. How often should I post? Because I'm sure you've heard everything from twice a day, twice a week. You still don't know which platform actually works for my business, right? Because you're not going to go on all seven of them, eight, nine, well, however many there are now. And then there's the big one. How do I find the time? Because you're already working 40, 60 hours a week. And here's what I say today for all that. And I mean, I really want you to hear this. The goal today is not to make you a content creator. The goal is to give you a system that works, even if your business only has one or two people in it. That's a totally different way to look at it. And that's the promise I want to give to you, right? Here's what we're going to do together in this time we spend together. We're going to talk about how social media actually supports your business growth. And it might not be in the way that you think. We're going to understand your customer so deeply that creating the content is going to feel obvious. We're going to build a content system. not just a posting schedule, but a real system. We're going to create content pillars, which are basically the DNA of your brand online, right? And then this is the part I like the most. We're going to use the AI to make it all faster, not to replace your voice, but to amplify it. We'll talk about repurposing, about running ads that don't waste money, about measuring the things that actually matter. Not vanity metrics either, not the followers, but the real stuff, the real business results. Throughout all of it, we're going to use what I put together a fictional business, right? We're going to call this one Hoosier Holloway. They're based out of Naptown, a junk removal company. Why junk removal though? Because if I can show you how a junk removal company can build a magnetic social media presence, the idea is you're going to walk out of here knowing that you can do it for your business, right? So let's get into it, right? But before we dive into any content, I want to do something real quick. I want you to think to yourself, what is one thing that you're proud of when it comes to your social media right now? Right? Maybe you have been consistent, right? Maybe you got one post that really landed, right? Maybe you maybe you've built a big following that actually engages. Or there's the other side, right? That what's the thing that still you're still struggling with, right? The thing that makes you want to put the phone down and just forget about social media. And either way, this is why we're here today. And this is what I want to do for you. Every single one of those pain points that we just thought about has a practical answer. And we're going to get to each one of them, right? So here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to add a little AI into it while we're going through this presentation. And then if you have your phone on you, great. I want you to open up Chat GPT or Claude, whatever you got, whatever you like. If not now, follow along if you can, or maybe try it after the presentation or tonight. We're gonna what we were gonna do is we're going to introduce your business to the internet, right? But we're going to do it the right way. So here's the prompt on the screen. It's simple. Write an Instagram post introducing my business. And then you fill in your business name, your product, services, what makes you different, who your target audience is, your location. Ask it for a friendly tone with a call to action. And we'll stick with my fictitious company of Hoosier Holloway, and this is what it gave me back. It gives me something like Hoosier Holloway helps Indianapolis homeowners reclaim garbages or garages, basements, and spare rooms without lifting a finger. That's 20 seconds of reading, and it tells you exactly what they do, who they serve, and the emotional benefit. No lifting a finger. That's what this is all about, the AI thing. AI is not your ghostwriter. It's your first draft machine, right? Your voice goes in, something useful comes out. But here's the thing. What comes out is only good as what you put in. We always say bad data in, bad data out. So today we're going to teach you exactly what to put in, right? So I want to be clear about something because I think there's a misconception about what the social media thing is supposed to do for you. Social media is not about going viral. It's a nice to have, but that's not the purpose. It's not about becoming an influencer. It's not about dancing on TikTok or whatever the algorithm is talking about this week, right? Here's what great content is actually supposed to do. It builds trust, It creates the visibility, meaning the right people can find you. It generates conversations because the conversations are what turns into the customers. And it produces the real revenue. The goal is not to be everywhere. The goal is to be unforgettable to the people that matter. And the best part about that, you can do this without becoming a full-time content creator. In fact, the most powerful content you will ever make already exists inside your business. We just need to unlock it. So here's something that will change the way you think about social media. The businesses winning right now, 2026, are not the ones who are trying to be influencers. They're becoming three things: local experts, trusted advisors, community personalities. And there's a massive difference between those things. You think about that company I made up, Hoosier Holloway. Nobody wakes up on Tuesday passionately interested in junk removal as a hobby. People do follow the company, but why? Because they post transformations. They show you a garage that was so packed with crap, you couldn't even walk through it. And then they show you the same space, clean, open, it's breathing, beautiful. That transformation triggers something emotional in people. It's aspirational, right? They tell stories. The family who couldn't face cleaning out their late father's home, the couple finally reclaiming their garage after 12 years. Stories pull people in. They always have, and they always will when it comes to marketing. They give helpful advice: what to donate, what to throw away, how to prepare for a clean out. They make themselves the go-to experts before someone even picks up the phone to call for junk removal service. People don't follow businesses. They follow stories, insights, and personalities that make them feel something, right? It makes them feel good, right? So let me give you something you can use today, though, a real formula. It has three parts. Every piece of content you ever create for social media should follow this structure in some level. Part one is always going to be the hook. This is the first line. It's the first frame. It's the first second of the video. Its only job is to stop the scroll. Nothing else. If they don't stop, nothing else matters, right? So that's why the hook is powerful. Part two is the story. Once you've got their attention, you earn their connection. You give them something, a moment, an insight, something, a before and after, a laugh. This is where the trust is built, right? And then you got that CTA, that call to action. Part three, you guide them to the next step. You're not salesy. You don't want to sell them. You want to guide them. There's a difference, right? Selling is pushy. Guiding it invites, right? So, all right, we still remember Hoosier Holloway. Here's their hook, right? The garage hadn't been opened in 17 years. I already want to see inside it. You know what I mean? That's the hook, right? Then you got the story. The homeowner thought the cleanup would take weeks. That's the relatability, right? That's something we can all relate to. That's human. And then you got the call to action. Need help reclaiming your space? Send us a message, right? It's simple. It's not pushy. It's an invitation, right? So let's do a quick exercise while we're here. Why not? Takes 30 seconds, no big deal. We want to write one hook for your business, right? Think about it. Just one sentence. It could be a question, it could be a bold statement, maybe a stat, an unfinished thought, whatever. Whatever would make someone stop scrolling, right? Well, now that, think about that, right? And as you're thinking about that, you've just wrote your first intentional hook. That's a skill. And like every skill, it gets sharper every time you use it. So you're going to get used to writing hooks, right? I want to show you some examples. We'll keep with the fictitious company. I want to show you what a well-trained hook library might look like. These are 10 hooks built specifically for the fictitious Hoosier Holloway. And as I read through them, I want you to feel how each one of them is slightly different, right? The first one, the strangest thing we found this week. That's the curiosity. It's a little irresistible, right? The next one, this garage hadn't been opened in 17 years. It's specific. This guy gives you a visual. It's time locked. The next one, would you keep this or throw it away? Engagement all day. That's everyone's going to jump in. That's how you get the comments going. The number one mistake homeowners make before a clean out. It's it's authoritative. It's useful. Useful content is always good. What would you do with this space? Again, it's a question. It's aspiration. Something that they can envision. It's another engagement point. The before and after, 6 hours of work, transformational, right? This is the proof. This is the proof you know what you're doing, right? We're in Naptown, so this Indianapolis family they filled up 3 dumpsters, right? Scale, it's a wow factor, something that's relatable. The next one, you won't believe what was hidden in this attic. This is a classic actually. It's just the engagement to draw them in. Stop the scroll. Remember, that's what these are trying to do. The next one, 3 things you should never throw away in the trash. That list format, that's still old school, still powerful. Something that people save, share. They're gonna put this in the text message and send it to their friend, right? The real cost of waiting to clean out a property. That's that FOMO, that fear of loss. It's emotional. It's a trigger. So you notice something with all of these, right? None of those hooks said we offer affordable junk removal service in Indianapolis because nobody stops for that stuff. You know what I mean? Now, here's where AI becomes your creative partner, right? In the same chat where you wrote your introduction post, type this. You create 10 hooks for my business that will perform well on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. That's it. Because you've already told it what your business is, it knows your context. It's going to give you 10 hooks in about 15 seconds. Some will be great, some will be throwaways, but I promise you, at least 2 or 3 of them will be better than what you could have written in 20 minutes. Keep the good ones. They go into your hook library. And when you sit down to create content today, tomorrow, next week, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from a list, right? I want to talk to you about the single most important structural idea and really all social media marketing. It's the content pillars. You think about a building, any building. It doesn't matter how beautiful the windows are, how good the lighting is, how nice the furniture is. Without the pillars, without the structure, it all collapses, right? The content is pretty much the same. Without pillars, every time you sit down to post something, you're starting from scratch. You have no framework, no rhythm, no identity. You're just there, shouting into the void, hoping someone hears you. With the pillars, content pillars are your repeatable content categories. The themes you come back to again and again. They give your audience something to expect from you. An expectation builds loyalty. We remember Hoosier Holloway, right? We we built five local local expertise, before and after transformations, interesting finds, customer stories, and trust builders, right? Every single piece of content they create falls into one of those kind of buckets. Every post, every reel, every story. That's not limiting, that's liberating. Because when you sit down on Sunday to plan next week, you're not asking, what do I post? You're kind of asking, which pillar do I want to do next, right? And of course, not all content is created equal. The best content strategy uses content that kind of they play different roles, right? Think of it like building a team. You don't have five players who all do the same thing. You got your educational content, teaches something useful. It positions you as the expert. Did you know you can't throw a mattress in a standard dumpster? Now I know something I didn't know before. And I associate that knowledge with your brand. That's how those work. You got your promotional content, it shows what you actually do, your services, your products, your results. Done right, it doesn't feel like an ad, it feels like a demonstration, right? You got your connection content. The connection content humanizes the business, the team, everybody involved, the behind the scenes, how it works, the laugh on the job site. This is what makes people feel like they know you before they ever even meet you, right? You have your engagement content. Engagement content is this. It's the conversation starter, your poll, your question. Would you keep this vanity lamp, or would you trash it? That's engagement, right? To the algorithm that people care about your content, and that means more reach for free. You know what I mean? And credibility is the final one. Credibility content builds trust and authority. These are the reviews, the before and after, any certifications, things that make someone say these people know what they're doing, right? Any of that. And here is the single biggest mindset shift I kind of want you to leave with today. Stop asking, what should I post? And kind of think about, what happened in my business today? You feel how different those two questions are? The first one puts you in front of a blank screen, excuse me, with infinite possibilities, no direction. The second one puts you in your business, which is already full of content every single day. You just haven't been seeing it that way, right? The garage that Hoosier Holloway cleared out today, that's content. The unusual item they found, content. The customer who cried happy tears when she saw her spare room again, that's content that'll make people stop, watch, and feel it, start crying or something, right? You want to document first, create content second. Your business is a content machine. You just need to turn it on. And one more thing about the pillars, right? Generic pillars create generic content. Bad data in, bad data out. Specific pillars create content people actually remember. Behind the scenes as a pillar is fine, but day in the life of a junk removal team is magnetic because now you can write this. We started today with a garage clean out in Caramel and ended with a estate clean out in Fishers. That sentence has location, it has scope, it has a story built into it before you've even posted a photo. Specificity is credibility. Specificity is searchability, right? And this being specific is what separates the businesses people scroll past from the ones that they actually follow. So here's what this might look like in practice. 7 days, 7 content types, 1 pillar per day. Monday, you lead with the expertise, the local expertise, teach them something. Tuesday, transformation. Show the before and the after. Before you did your thing and after you did your thing. Wednesday, something interesting about your business. The weird for the Hoosier Holloway, might be the weird antique lamp from the clean out. Something interesting about your business. Thursday, do a customer story. Let someone else sell it for you, right? Friday, a review or a testimonial. Saturday, something like a transformational reel. Your highest reach content will be that transformational reel. And Sunday, let's say, would you rather, like a poll, light, fun, engagement bait. So is this the only way to do it? Of course not. But it is a proven system that removes the guesswork, right? And right now, removing the guesswork is the most valuable thing that I can really give you, right? I want to make one thing clear, right? The pillars are a framework. It's not a prison, right? Add seasonal content, add some community events, local parades, food drive, charity that you might be involved in, add local news that's relevant to your customers, add posts that answer the questions that your customers are literally asking you every single day. Your pillars, they expand, they're flexible, they breathe, they grow with the business, right? So I want you to take a little time and write down 5 potential content pillars for your business. We don't have to overthink it. We're not going to sit here and harp on it. What do you know a lot about? Clients that I deal with take this for granted all the time. What do you know a lot about? What do your customers care about? What do you show up and do every single day that could be documented in some format? Let's think about that. Now, let's take what you've wrote and let's turbocharge it with the AI, right? An hour later, you'll jump in your chat with AI, run these 4 steps. First, you're going to ask it to create 5 pillars for your business. Give it your context. Second part, you're going to ask it to refine each pillar. Make it specific, not generic. And then third, ask for example posts for each pillar, right? And then the final post, ask it to build that weekly post, that posting plan that we saw. What you're doing right now, or when you do this, is you're building the skeleton of the social media strategy. In those quick minutes with AI as the partner, that's what you're doing. Now, I know not everyone here runs a junk removal company, right? So let me quickly show you how these same principles apply across the kinds of businesses that are probably in this room right now, right? For home services, your transformation is your product. Show the broken thing and the fixed thing. That's your content. For landscaping, before and after yard. You might design, or you've designed something, show the highest performing visual content on the internet. Uh, you're literally sitting on a gold mine of imagery, right? You got your cleaning companies, right? These There's an entire corner of the internet obsessed with satisfying cleaning content. People find it deeply relaxing. That's a great audience. For local trades, people trust trades tradespeople who show their work, show their posts, show their tools, show their expertise in real time, right? The strategy is the same. The content is yours, and your content, the specific, real, day-to-day reality of your business. It's something that no competitor can replicate because it's you, right? So here's the question I hear most after people understand the system, right? They say something like, that sounds great, Steve, but I still don't have time to do it every day. And you're right, you don't. So you're not going to, right? Instead, we're going to batch your content. Batching means you create a week's worth of content in one sitting, one session. I always shoot for Sunday, uh, but you could do whatever you want, maybe Thursday afternoon. You block out 1 or 2 hours and you make everything you need for the next 7 days. And the benefits are obvious, they're enormous, right? Consistency. Your audience always hears from you. Less stress. You're not waking up Monday morning panicking about what to post. You already know what's going out. You're more efficient. You're in a creative mindset, so everything is better when you're focused like that. And it becomes, something you can delegate. At some point in the future, someday you want to hand this to an employee or a contractor, and the system is already built. It should flow the same. So here's the Sunday evening playbook for the fictitious company, Hoosier Holloway. Review the jobs from last week. Identify the 2 or 3 that had a good story, that went well. Those become the content for the week. That's it. The raw material was already created. You just need to recognize it, right? When you open your content calendar for the week, you're making 4 decisions for each piece of content. Which pillar? What's the post idea? What format? Maybe I should do a photo, video, reel, a story. And what's my call to action, right? And you can quickly mark out your calendar using that format. That's the system. That's what creates the calendar and reduces that stress, right? Then you have like what I call, this is like the creation process, right? It has 4 steps, right? Write the caption, gather the photos or videos, preferably the video, build the post, schedule it in that order. It sounds obvious, it does, but most people they get the order mixed up, right? They try to create the visual without a caption, or and then they get the caption and it doesn't match the visual. But you should always focus on the caption first. Always write the caption first. And remember what I said before. Every completed job is the content. You're not creating content from thin air. You're already packaging what's already happened, right? Schedule everything. Don't post manually every day. You'll forget. Trust me. You'll get busy and you'll break the rhythm. Use a scheduling tool. Meta Business Suite, as much as I don't like them, Meta Business Suite is it's free and it does a great job for Facebook and Instagram in terms of scheduling the content. Um, Canva now has built-in scheduling. Canva is evolving every day. Um, as you grow, you have your Metricools later, Social Pilot. Excuse me. Those are all strong options. The fact is, you just have to pick one. Learn it once, stop thinking about it. The point is scheduling it, having a tool to schedule. Um, I want to show you something that's going to hopefully completely change the way you see your work day. One job, one single, in this case, a garage clean out, can create, you know, 30 pieces of content, a reel, TikTok, story, carousel, Facebook, email, blog, a review to request. It's all ad creative from one job that you were already doing. The content is not extra work. The content is the work. You just need to point the camera at it. Stop treating the content as something you do after the work. Start treating it as part of the work, right? And one more thing before we move on to like ads. I want to focus a little bit on B-roll. B-roll. If you're not familiar with the term B-roll, B-roll is footage that runs alongside audio or a voiceover. It's not someone talking into the camera. It's the truck arriving. It's the before walkthrough, the team loading crap into the trailer, the finished space, right? B-roll is powerful for three reasons. It makes your content more dynamic. Even a quick 30-second clip with good music and B-roll footage, it looks better. It looks professional. It allows voiceovers, which means you don't have to be on the camera to have the voice. It builds trust through the transparency. It's showing people your actual work. It's showing the actual team. It's showing how you do things, the actual process. If you're camera shy, which is probably 99% of us, B-roll is our best friend. So the thing is, start filming what you do. Film everything around you, not yourself, but your work. The rest, it'll follow naturally, right? So it's quick, a quick thing. It's important. Visuals matter. A great caption, bad image will underperform. A great caption with a great image. And you don't need to be a graphic designer, right? Not today. And Canva is like your design partner these days. It has templates built with every platform, before and after layouts, real cover designs, carousel templates, story frames. All of them can be customized to your brand in minutes when you use Canva. You set up your brand kit with Canva. You lock in your logo, your colors, your fonts. Uh, then every single piece of content you create will be visually consistent, right? The consistency builds the recognition. The recognition is going to build the trust. This is like a 20-minute setup, right? That's going to pay dividends every single week, right? So, two quick things before we jump into the advertising. Plan seasonally, right? Spring cleaning we're still thinking about Hoosier Holloway. Spring cleaning in the March, estate cleanouts in the summer, holiday declutter in November. Whatever your business does throughout the year, map your content to the calendar of when your customers naturally need you the most. Um, that's that's important. And understand this: in today's world, 2026, people are searching for social media the way they used to search on, say, Google, right? If someone keeping the Hoosier Holloways, right? If someone in Naptown types, how much does junk removal cost into their IG, and they do this every day, your content should show up. That means your posts are not just social, not anymore. They're searchable. So you need to write the content accordingly, right? So let's go ahead and talk about ads. And I want to start by removing the fear, right? A lot of the clients that I work with, a lot of the small business owners here run ads and they imagine just burning money, right? That doesn't have to be your story. Ads don't create interest. They're meant to accelerate it. If you have great organic content that people already respond to, they're already engaging in it, you take that content and put a little money behind it. And now instead of reaching your 200, 300 followers, you're reaching 2,000, 3,000 people in your zip code. The best ads for local service businesses are not polished commercials. They're they're the before and after videos, customer stories, team introductions, testimonials are powerful, real human, very specific, right? Um, this is a classic question. Do I boost the posts or do I jump right into Ads Manager? Here's the short version, I guess. Boosting posts is really for visibility. It's quick and easy, good for getting the post seen by more people, right? That's it. When it comes to Ads Manager is for lead generation. It's slightly more complex, but it gives you targeting, tracking, and control that the boost post, it just can't match it. So if your goal is phone calls and form submissions, right? Lead generation, and it should be, right? Ad Manager is probably where you need to hang out the most, right? You want to run a simple funnel, right? Awareness is at the top, transformation video to cold audiences, people who don't know you, right? We're thinking about Hoosier Holloways. This is the before and after. The next round, the next level, that middle of funnel consideration, the customer story to people who engage with that first transformational video, right? Then that bottom of funnel is the conversion. It's the free estimate, the offer, right? To people who watched and clicked the levels above it, right? So you're just, once they come into the funnel, you start to send them the next level. 3 steps, right? Let's keep it simple. A small daily budget. You want to start at $5, $10 a day and run that for at least 2 weeks to see what the data tells you. The longer, the better. And you want to test first. You want always test different hooks, different thumbnails, different calls to action. The market will tell you what's working. You just have to listen. This is the A B testing, right? You might hear this, you might have heard this a lot. A B testing. A B testing. What is that? That's the same post with a little bit of a combination. It's the same post, but it has a different hook. One might have a different hook, a different thumbnail, different call to action. It's the same thing, just with a little bit of a twist. A little bit, not too much of a difference, just a little bit. And you're testing out to see what people like better. And once you find that, you want to double down on that. Get rid of the other ones, focus on only what works. People trust people trust other people more than they trust the actual business. You know, that's not cynicism. That's how we work. That's human nature. And it means that your happiest customers are your most powerful marketing tools. After every successful job, you want to ask your customer one simple question. Hey, would you mind giving me a 5-star or recording a quick 20-second review? That's it. Most people are going to say, yeah. Some people will give you something that's amazing, right? And now you have the UGC, which is the user generated content, right? This is something that you can post. You can run it as an ad. You can put it on your website, share it in an email, right? You want to post the reviews, turn the testimonial into reels, feature it as a story. Make your customers the heroes of your brand. That's not just good marketing. That's just good character, right? Engagement engagement is more than just likes, uh, comments, saves, shares, direct messages, phone calls. These these are the signals that actually matter, right? The algorithm rewards them. And more importantly, your business grows from them. Ask questions, use polls, reply to every comment, especially as quickly as possible, early. This is something where a lot of people mess up. You want to respond to the good stuff and the bad stuff. And you want to collaborate with local businesses. You want to show up to community events. And when you do, document it, video it all. In 2026, community strategy beats hashtag strategy. Location tags and local partnerships matter more than stuffing 30 hashtags into a caption, right? That's old. And finally, we want to measure, but we want to measure the right things, right? Most important metrics: leads, calls, form submissions, reviews. This all creates a cost per lead. This is an answer I very rarely can get an answer from. What's your cost per lead? These are business results. These are the numbers that keep the lights on. Less important metrics, the followers, the likes, yeah, that all feels good, but that doesn't pay the bills. Review your analytics at least once a week. What performed? Whatever performed, do more of that. What didn't perform? Change one of the variables, run it again. That's the A B test. You want to review, refine, repeat. That's the entire, optimization strategy. It's not complicated, but it does require consistency. And that is the key. The goal is not to go viral. That's a nice to have. It would be great to go viral. The goal is really generating customers at the end of the day. So let's bring it all back around, shall we? Today we've covered 7 things together, right? A little AI assisted content creation. So you never face a blank screen, right? Leverage the AI. We talked about content pillars so that every post has purpose, right? We talked about batching, right? So you work smarter, not harder, right? The repurposing. So one job becomes 10, 20, 30 pieces of content if you slice it and dice it right. Uh, we talked a little bit about ads. So you can reach people who haven't heard of you yet, right? We did a little social proof. So your customers do the selling for you, right? And finally, we talked a little bit real quick about analytics so that you know what's working. And when you figure out what's working, double down on what's working. You came here with the questions. I hope that you leave with a system, but I'll leave you with the final question. The single most important key successful social, what's the key to social media marketing? At the end of the day, consistency. It's not the best web camera. It's not the most creative idea. It's not the biggest budget. It's not anything about being perfect. It all comes down to consistency, showing up again and again and again for the people who need what you offer, right? That is what separates the businesses that thrive online from the ones that never really quite get it off the runway, right? So you have the system now. The only thing is to do it, right? So again, I am Stephen Barry. You can reach out to me through different methods. I do work with AdBird and Plutomation, but also with SBC. You can find me on different methods. I know I didn't say it at the beginning, but we're opening up questions. See, one of them was already answered. It's at the end of the worst.
Yeah, Steve, he was just asking, Dustin was asking if he could see the 5 pillar slide again. And so everyone knows, I will be sending out this slideshow to those that attended, along with the video. So anyone that's interested in that, we will be able to do that later on. And the other thing is SBC does have a YouTube channel now, that will have all these videos as well. And it's at SBC First on YouTube. So you can check us out there as well. But Steve, I think he was looking for that 5 pillar slide toward the beginning of the session.
Sorry, I'm going through it.
Nope, you're good.
Where's my
And if there are any other questions, if you want to put it in the Q&A area, Steve has about 5 minutes here to answer a couple things if you guys had something in mind. And Dustin, I guess you can go ahead and take a photo of the slide there.
And these are just meant to be an idea. I would definitely leverage AI for, we use the junk removal service as an idea, but whatever your business is, I would go to AI and I'd ask it, what are my content pillars? And I've got seasonal topics, community events, local news is kind of, and customer questions. It's kind of like my baseline, but what do you, based on what my business is, what do you think my content pillars? And it'll give you a much more defined scope to your business, if that helps.
And it looks like we had a question about our Instagram. So if you want to go, Steve, to your last slide, I can also put in the SBC Instagram along with the SBC YouTube page. But Steve can show his last slide if that's what you're looking for there. Any other questions before we leave today? This was a great presentation, Steve. We very appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, I think that is about on time. If anyone has any questions or anything beyond that, you can reach out to Community Ventures in Kentucky. For those that are living in Kentucky, they are a CDFI that is helping us run this program today. So you could reach out to them or reach out to me directly at Karen, Karyn, at sbcfirst.com, and I can get you to somebody that can help with any of your questions you might have. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Much appreciated. Bye.